I'm Jason UFC, and today we have a story about UFC welterweight Gilbert Burns versus Belal Muhammad has been booked for UFC 288 co-main event. UFC welterweight contenders Gilbert Burns and Belal Muhammad will collide in a pivotal, basically a number one contender matchup as the UFC 288 co-main event. News of the booking was announced by the UFC on Thursday. How about that? The UFC very rarely breaks news. The UFC had been looking for a co-main event to fill the co-main event slot after the postponement of the lightweights Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush fight. The card also lost a featherweight fight. Blah blah blah. Belal Muhammad returns following a 6-month hiatus, stemming from his win over Sean Brady at UFC 280 last October. He has defeated the likes of Vicente Luque and Wonderboy Thompson during his current win streak. Belal Muhammad had been calling for a title shot for months and will likely get the opportunity with a short notice win over Burns. Burns will make a quick turnaround after beating Jorge Masvidal just weeks ago at the previous UFC pay-per-view, UFC 287. He has back-to-back wins in 2023 so far. His first win was over Neil Magny in January in Rio, and then he just defeated Jorge Masvidal in where was that in Florida? I believe that was in Miami, Florida. Yeah, wow, how about this? This is interesting. We saw a lot of talk between these two on Twitter. I think people were, Gilbert Burns, after his last fight versus Jorge Masvidal, he came out and said, "I'm the number one contender. I'm gonna be the backup fighter. That's the only thing I'm gonna take." Now look at him saying, "Hey, you know what? Let's go again. Let's fight versus Belal Muhammad in the one pay-per-view, right?" Gilbert Burns fought at UFC 287, Adesanya versus Pereira, and now Gilbert Burns is going to end up fighting again versus Belal Muhammad. How about that? We saw a few talks about Belal Muhammad moving up to the middleweight to face Sean Brady or something like that. I saw something about that. I didn't see too much. I'm an MMA casual, so I can't keep up with everything. But we did hear a little bit of talks of Belal Muhammad saying that he wanted the title fight next. He wasn't happy about Colby Covington getting the number one contendership. I really respect both of these fighters for taking this fight, especially Gilbert Burns. There is no doubt about it. If Gilbert Burns wins this fight, he will be the number one contender versus I'm assuming it's still going to be Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington. I think that fight's going to happen, from what UFC was talking about, maybe in October. But Gilbert Burns will most likely be the number one contender and fight the winner of Colby Covington and Leon Edwards. But let me know your opinion of this fight. Great matchup. Very, very happy to see welterweights not just sitting back, losing a title fight, demanding one fight, getting on a one-fight victory win, and then demanding another title fight. It's very great to see, fighters in the top 5 fighting each other, fighting people outside of the top 5, just staying active. So this is going to be a very, very great fight. Let me know, who do you think is going to win? I'm Jason UFC. Today we have a story about the UFC welterweight division. Both of these fighters, I believe, in the top 10. I don't think they're both in the top 5, but I'm pretty sure they're both at least in the top 10 in the welterweight division. Gilbert Burns versus Belal Muhammad has been booked for the UFC co-main event. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button, and please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.